These are the top 10 slowest selling cars in the United States of America for August 2026. They're rotting on dealers' lots and costing them millions of dollars. Dad, we're going to break down the data here in just a moment. Before we do, floor plan costs. That's why car dealers hate these slowest selling vehicles. What's floor plan costs and why are dealers so upset right now?
Well, floor plan costs, you know what? The dealers are just like you. They finance their inventory just like you finance your new or used car purchase. And the cost of financing that inventory can be outrageous, outlandish at times. So the longer a car sits on a dealer's lot, the more interest the dealer has to pay to have it sit there. So if you see a vehicle that's been on a dealer's lot, I don't know, for 220 days, that dealer is more motivated to sell that car than one that's been there for 20 days. 20 days worth of interest is a hell of a lot less than 220 days worth of interest.
These cars are rotting on dealers' lots, partly because dealerships don't even want to sell them. We're going to show you some examples at the end of this video. We negotiate car deals for customers. That's our job. And oh my gosh, Dad, it is terrible how difficult some of these dealerships make it.
Yeah, some dealers just don't get it. It's the customer that they want to please, not themselves. They need to go at the customer's pace, not their pace.
We're going to jump into the top 10 slowest sellers. And yes, these cars have been sitting for a long time on dealers' lots. Now, at the number 10 spot, we have the Buick Envision. This is the 10th slowest selling car in the United States of America, and that is for the month of August 2026. A 220-day days supply of inventory. That means it would take Buick dealers nationwide 220 days to sell out of all of their Envisions based on how fast they're selling. There are 11,583 for sale, yet Buick dealers nationwide have only sold 2,367 in the last 45 days. A nearly $50,000 price point, $46,238, lands the Buick Envision at the number 10 spot on our list. There's 755 Buick dealers, about that many nationwide, Dad. They are oversupplied with Envisions that they can't sell.
Yeah, I doubt that there's one Buick dealer out there that doesn't have too many or too few. It is an albatross around the Buick dealer's neck at the moment.
At the number 9 spot, we have the 2026 GMC Sierra 3500 chassis and cab. Now, one of the modifications we made to this list over last month's list is we got rid of vehicles that have fewer than 500 for sale. So you can see here, this is a big work truck. There's over 1,000 of them for sale, yet GMC dealers have only sold 209. So a work truck making it on the list with a 221 days supply, 1,000 of them for sale. So it got past the cut for this month, Pops.
Yeah, it did. And, to me, that's a little bit surprising, but I don't really think they're going to have all that much difficulty selling the remainder of those. There are businesses out there that rely heavily on cab and chassis pickup trucks.
Now we've got our first Stellantis product on the list, the 2026 Jeep Grand Wagoneer L, a 227 days supply of inventory. So for Jeep dealers nationwide, we're talking about, 2,400 or so dealerships. They've got 227 days worth of inventory, 3,396 of these Grand Wagoneer Ls for sale. Yet those same 2,400 dealerships have only sold 672 of these $84,000 SUVs.
And that's after Jeep dropped the price on it by $20,000. That used to be $100,000+ vehicle, and they couldn't sell it at that point. And guess what? They can't sell it at $83,000 either.
At the number 7 spot, we've got the GMC Savannah cargo van. Again, another vehicle made past the 500 vehicle threshold. 228 days supply, 1,243 for sale, 245 have sold. Now we'll just jump quickly to 6 and 5. The Land Rover Discovery at the number 6 spot, 233 days supply of this vehicle. Pretty surprising to see it on the list at 953 of these for sale nationwide, yet Land Rover dealers have only sold 184, $75,000 price point, which is lower than the number 5 slowest selling vehicle, which is yet another Jeep, the Grand Wagoneer. A Jeep is more expensive, as you're about to see, than a Land Rover. 239 days supply, 11,088 of these for sale nationwide, yet 2,400 Jeep dealers nationwide have only sold 2,090 in the last 45 days of this $77,808 Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Wow.
Yeah, the Land Rover Discovery doesn't necessarily surprise me because, well, it's the Land Rover Discovery. It's not a Defender and it's not a Range Rover. And so it's the least popular of the Land Rovers. The Jeep Grand Wagoneer, whether it's a Grand Wagoneer L or just a Grand Wagoneer, it's as if people are saying, The price of Jeeps is too damn high.
Now we enter EV territory. At the number 4, 3, and 2 spots, we have all electric vehicles. Number 4 slowest seller for August 2026, the Porsche Taycan with a 253 days supply. Porsche dealers nationwide have over 1,000 of these Taycans for sale, yet have only sold 180 in the last 45 days. $147,900 average transaction price. Incredibly expensive. And Taycans, Dad, they've depreciated like crazy. Why buy a new one when you could buy one that's depreciated 50, 60, 70% on the used car market? This is your number 4 slowest seller.
Yeah, I think the Taycan is the anchor that one uses on their super yacht. I'm pretty sure, because that's basically all it's good for at this point.
Number 3 on our list, the Dodge Charger, which is at a 329 days supply. Last month, it actually had an even higher days supply, so kudos to Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram dealers. They're selling more of these bad boys. 9,735 of these for sale nationwide at those 2,400 or so CDJR dealerships. 1,332 have sold in the last 45 days for your $54,237 electric muscle car. Then at the number 2 spot, we've got the Volkswagen ID4 with a 374-day supply of inventory, or up to over a year's worth of time it would take to sell the 1,072 ID4s that are sitting on dealers' lots. Those Volkswagen dealers out there, all 630 of them, have sold 129 of these in the last 45 days at a $46,320 price point. Now, number 1's coming up in just a moment here, Dad, but 3 in a row of electric vehicles that are your slowest sellers for August 2026.
Yeah, that tells you a little something about the electric vehicle market, but it also tells you, for instance, with the Volkswagen ID4, that has been such a problem-plagued vehicle from day one that there's no reason for anybody to even consider buying one. And that Charger, well, perhaps they're selling more, or maybe they're building less, so it looks like they have a shorter day supply.
The number 1 slowest selling vehicle for the month of August 2026 goes to Nissan with the Rogue plug-in hybrid. 443 days supply of inventory. Nissan dealers nationwide have 1,940 of these Rogue plug-in hybrids for sale, yet they've only sold 197 in the last 45 days. We've got a $43,160 price point. Let's dig into the Rogue here. Then in some ways, this is just a rebadged Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, and it's at a price point where you could get a Toyota RAV4. So maybe that has something to do with the fact that this is number 1 slowest selling. We've got another example here in a moment as well for why it might be the slowest seller. But what do you make of Nissan owning the number 1 slowest selling spot?
Well, the non-plug-in hybrid Rogue is their best-selling vehicle. But this just shows you that it's hard to compete against Toyota, the industry leader in hybrids, if you're at the same price point as the Toyota. I know that people would have to wait for that Toyota RAV4 hybrid, and they could get their hands on that Rogue like instantly, and then, well, they'd probably instantly regret it.
Now, Dad, we offer car buying services back at CarEdge.com. We help thousands of people every single month buy new and used cars, and I went and I looked at one of our recent negotiations with a Nissan dealer for a 2026 Rogue PHEV. And you can see here, Dad, the message that we sent the dealership: Nicole, I'm not going to call. I need this in writing. What I haven't gotten is an explanation for why the selling price is $6,700 above the listed price. That's a significant difference, and I need it itemized. If you can't provide that by email, I need to focus on other options I'm considering. I'd rather buy here, but I can't make a decision without understanding what I'm actually paying for. That's a message that CarEdge sent to a car dealership on behalf of a customer. Now, ready for this? The dealership reply: Michael, I understand that you'd prefer to communicate by email, and I appreciate you sharing your concerns. I have already provided a general breakdown of the pricing, and as I mentioned from the beginning, I also went beyond our dealership's normal policy by providing a price via email. At this point, any additional discussion regarding the pricing, fees, or itemization will need to take place either over the phone or in person. This allows us to review everything accurately, answer any questions in real time, and ensure there are no misunderstandings. Maybe this is another reason, Dad, why Nissan has one of the slowest selling cars in the United States of America right now. What a pain in the butt it is for people to go buy a brand new Nissan. No wonder Carvana's selling so many more cars, and no wonder our business is booming and more customers are coming to CarEdge to ask for buying help. Crazy.
It is ridiculous that in today's day and age that a dealership just doesn't get it, that they don't understand that if a customer is asking for detailed explanation of of pricing, the answer isn't, well, I need you to come in, or I've already gone above and beyond what our dealership allows. What you're saying to the customer is, we don't appreciate you, we won't help you as a customer, and perhaps you'd be better off going somewhere else. Because if it was me, if it was a human responding to that email, I would tell them, hey, great, I'll just go somewhere else. Thank God that we have the buying service, because they're there and they're still going to continue to fight to get that information for what the customer wants. But it's ridiculous that you have to actually beg a dealership to provide you with information.
All right, folks, those are your slowest sellers for the month of August. See how they compare to July. And also stay tuned for the fastest sellers as well. You can see the slowest sellers in your neighborhood too, caredge.com/slowest. And let us know what other changes or modifications you want to see to this video next month, because I'm pretty sure we'll be back in September doing it again. Thanks as always, Pops.
Thank you.